and welcome. I would like to give you a few tips and tricks to make it easier for you to deal with a noise-sensitive animal. I will be talking dog here most of the time because they are the ones that most likely have issues with fireworks, motorcycles going by, or thunderstorms coming. A lot of other animals seem to have more ease with that, but truly this will work for most of them anyway. So one of the things that I want to start with is to really give you a sense that you can be the rock in the stream for your animal. If you start feeling sorry for your animal, or if you are starting to buy into their anxiety by basically following them along with it, meaning you feel sorry for them, you have anxiety yourself because you don't know how to help them, or you start being nervous, then you are actually not assisting your dog to get calmer and have more peace. The more ease-filled you are, the easier it will be for your animal. Now, there are many stages of this. Some animals have very low anxiety with this, and some are over the top, withdrawing or hiding, shaking, even diarrhea, all sorts of things. So this will be probably something for the middle of the road animal. And yet, if you have an animal that has severe reactions, please do all the things I am suggesting here. You may just have to take a little bit longer, and you may just have to be a little bit more diligent. But nonetheless, hopefully, this will change the situation once and for all. First of all, I have made a clearing loop that is just for your animal. So please download that as well, because it will help your animal to hopefully energetically at least get over whatever this is. Because most likely, this is actually not something that your animal has learned in this lifetime even. And you don't have to really believe in more than one lifetime or anything for this to work. Please just know that the tools I'm using here are from Access Consciousness, and basically Access Consciousness addresses the energy of everything that is going on. So it really doesn't matter when a problem, an issue was created, even if it was 3 trillion years ago, the energy of it will be what we're addressing here and what we're changing. So please don't get hung up with that. It's not about that. If you want to know more about what I'm about to use, which is called the Clearing Statement of Access Consciousness, then please go to theclearingstatement.com. There it is explained what the words mean and what they are doing. But just know this clearing statement is designed to undo any limitation that has been created and basically take it out of existence. So first of all, everything that has you all anxious about your animal and the problem that your animal might have, and where you're trying to find out exactly what it is, will you please now destroy and uncreate all of that? Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. So this little sentence is the clearing statement, and it literally will just destroy and uncreate anything that has limitations in place. So, what would it take for you to be the rock in the stream? Now, one of the things that I have noticed is that literally if I start getting anxious about a thunderstorm coming, my animals are even more anxious than usual because they pick up on your anxiety. And so if you are now acting out, then to them, their whole safety net is falling apart, and they have to now also go into what's going to happen, what's happening, where are we going, what's going on. And so they literally go into this loop. Whereas if you stay calm, then they have more of a chance to also stay calm. So this is really your first number one thing that you need to do is to stay calm. Now, there are certain things that you can also do to help your animal in a situation where you know things are coming. You know when the thunderstorm is coming. You know when there are firework activities. So you can also prepare a little bit with that by also giving your animal, for example, rescue remedy, which is a Bach flower, Bach flower. You can get that at pretty much any health food store, and usually they have the pet version of it. Now there's drops that you could put in the water for your pet, or there's a spray that you can put directly in their face, which sometimes actually can just take the edge off immediately. So rescue remedy is one. Now, another one is called a Thundershirt. You can get that ahead of time. This was developed by Tellington T-Touch, and what they discovered is that if the animal is wrapped tightly, they actually have less anxiety. Now, this doesn't work for every pet, so please ask your pet's body. This is really a body thing. Body, do you require this? And if you get a yes, then I would suggest go get one. If you get a no, then this is not going to work for your pet. So please trust that these things don't work across the board for every animal. You have to be willing to be aware and see what actually works for your animal the best. Another thing might be essential oils. There is lavender, which is calming, and you can put a little bit of lavender oil on your hands, rub it together, and then just put it gently on the shoulders, behind their neck. You don't want to get it in their face, it's too intense, but you can just rub them a little bit here, rub them on their shoulders, to just give them that sense. They will smell that, and just to have a little bit of that sense of calm from the lavender. Lavender is very calming. But again, some animals may like that and others may not. I would highly suggest you try this ahead of time before the situation is escalating, and you can just rub it on and just hold your hand away from your dog someplace, and you see if the dog turns away from it and is really like, oh, then that may not work for your dog. And sometimes it's the opposite. The dog will actually come and rub himself right into your hand. So then you know that this is a scent that might actually give your dog a sense of peace and calm. Now, the other thing is what I have noticed a lot of times is that when you have a dog that goes into this motion of shaking and being really, really in shock, what can help is to just put your hand on your dog and ask your body to transfer the peace and calm that you have into their body. And please don't get too much into trying to console your dog, because again, the more you start doing that, the more your dog is getting apprehensive, because they don't know why you're doing that, and to them it's a strange behavior, and they then basically start to associate that with whatever the problem is that they are perceiving right now. So be as calm as you can be, and just have your hand on your dog and basically allow your calm energy to flow into your dog's body, and see that you can transfer that calm. Now, some animals might do better if they walk around, and you could try that too. See if you can put your dog on a leash and start walking him around in the house, not outside, in the house. See if you can walk between the kitchen, the living room, the bedroom, whatever is easy for you, and see if that actually starts to calm your dog down. You might even give him a few treats. Some dogs, when they're stressed out, they won't eat. So see if that works. If he's walking calmly with you, maybe give him a few treats and see if that helps to actually get his mind off the noises. You can also play some music in the house. That may help to muffle the sound that is coming in from the outside. But if you're usually not listening to music a whole lot, this may not work. It's just see if that works for you and your dog. Now, sometimes also what can be helpful is to go into the smallest room of the house and just have the bed there, have the water bowl there, play some music in there, and just let your dog stay in that room. And they may feel very comfortable being in that room, even if you're not there. And of course, you could sit there with them. You could read a book or do your social media, whatever it is. Make yourself comfortable And again, the calmer you are, the better it is for your animal. Now, one of the things that you can do in preparation is you could actually start to play with this ahead of time, and you can start to train your dog literally to be less sensitive to noises. Now, where you can start is to really just making loud noises. Have someone helping you. You could do like someone banging on a pot or something like that. Not constantly, but like, make a loud noise. And as your dog is there with you and basically watching you, you can give your dog a treat when the noise is happening. So the dog starts associating louder noises with something like a treat. Oh, wow, there's a loud noise, I get a treat. So this is something you can play with as well. It's great if you have a command like watch me or look at me. Those are wonderful commands to teach your dog. And this is something that you can use in this situation. So when your dog is focusing on something that is dramatic, you can get him out of it by basically using a command like look at me, and the dog, if it's trained for that already, will look at you, and then you can give it a treat and basically in that moment divert this whole scenario and see if you can get them into a more calm state with that. Now, this really works well with a dog that is not super intense when it comes to these noises. When you have a dog that is already over the edge, this may not work at all. So again, then it might work better to, put the Thundershirt on, walk the dog around in the house and see if you can get literally the mindset to stop focusing on that. One other thing is, basically you can destroy and uncreate anywhere that your dog is focused on the bad stuff. So just say everywhere you're focusing on the bad stuff right now, let's destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. You can also let that clearing loop that I made run in the background while this is going on, alongside with the music, or you can make it really loud so it's drowning out the sounds from the fireworks or from the thunderstorm. But part of it is to, especially in a thunderstorm, a lot of animals are perceiving the atmospheric change that goes on. And so for them, just all of that really is going on in a thunderstorm is too much for their body. So this is where you can, again, when you put your hands on and you ask for dissipating anything that is creating that in their body, it may really help the animal to calm down, because then they no longer have to be in that frantic state that goes on when the electric stuff is basically too intense in the environment. So one other thing is too, what if you didn't look at it as a problem altogether, but what if you actually acknowledged your dog for how sensitive they are? And I know this may sound a little crazy, but if you actually acknowledge your dog for being highly aware, for being super sensitive, then they can also have more ease with the whole situation. Why? Because you're not trying to fix it. Because for them, this is not a wrongness. It is just something that's up, but they will welcome anything that will make it easier for them. But if we're looking at this as a problem that we need to fix, then we have a certain energy, and when we're doing something that isn't working, we get frustrated. And the frustration, again, it doesn't help. If you are being frustrated about it, because also, of course, you would like to help your animal and you would like to make it easier for them. And so when it's not working and you get frustrated, now you are also, again, funneling that same energy into the situation, which is not helpful to your dog. So if you can please stay calm, cool, and collected, at least you can do that, then your dog has a chance to actually take that energy from you, rather than getting also into the frantic, into the frustrated, into the angry, into the impatient, into all the things we get into when things aren't working the way that we would like them to. But so really, the more you practice this ahead of time, like also walking your dog on a leash in the house, just practice that. That's not something we normally do. So play with that ahead of time so that when the situation comes, it's not all new stuff you're trying out. And if your dog is laying there and cowering and shaking, put a towel under them, lift them up, have someone help you, lift your dog up and walk your dog. Sometimes really movement can make all the difference in the world, but have them on a leash so they're not dashing and running into the next corner and, putting themselves in there and shaking, but that you actually have control over them and you're walking with them. Be gentle, but be also stern in a way that you say, come on, let's go, let's move. But play with it. See if this works for your dog. Like I said in the beginning, please, 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 anything I am suggesting here is a suggestion. You have to see if this works for you and your animal. If it doesn't work, try something else. So, but please be aware that every animal's body is different, every situation is different, and you can learn a lot also by just observing your dog. Sometimes, another animal can also trigger this behavior. And so, again, the clearing loop has a lot of those clearings in there that can help. But the more you also see which animal is the one that is creating this anxiety, and if you can then work with them, the other ones will follow and have less anxiety when they see that this particular animal is getting calmer. So if you have more than one animal in your household, please see which one is the one that has the biggest quote-unquote issue, and so that you can work with that one and focus on that. Okay, so I'm just looking to see if there was anything else that I was trying to talk to you about with this. But I think I covered everything that I wanted to for right now. So please check out the page that we have created. There's a few things here that you can play with also that might be a contribution. And please don't forget to download that clearing loop, and please, please, please play it for your animal even ahead of the thunderstorm, and see if there are any changes when the thunderstorm hits. All right, thank you so much for watching and listening, and I will see you hopefully somewhere else soon. Bye-bye.